First question.
I had deep longing to know the truth. I devoted much time to study hundreds of books. I have been to many religious leaders, but my hands are still empty. Now I doubt whether something like the ultimate truth exists or not.
Yes, the ultimate truth exists. Truth and existence are synonymous. Truth means that which exists. It is omnipresent everywhere. But if you start searching from a wrong point, you will never find it. You started from religious leaders, you started from the books, you started from the temples and holy places, you started from the wrong end. If the truth is everywhere, then the closest point is you yourself. So go in and search there. No need to find in the books. Your life is the ultimate book. It has got everything in it. Look within. That is the art of meditation. I have heard an incident about great Jain master Rinzai. He was speaking to an audience. He was talking about the original, the ultimate truth, the formlessness, shapelessness, the one without name. Somebody from the audience asked, where to find such truth? Rinzai stepped down from the podium. People were shocked, what's going to happen? Rinzai walked to that man who has asked the question, shook his shoulders and said, who is asking? The man was in a shocked position. All his thoughts stopped. He never expected. He was thinking to listen to some philosophical answer, some intellectual answer. Rinzai asked, who has asked this question? And the man went into a thoughtless awareness. Rinzai immediately said, close your eyes right now and look within. This consciousness, this is nameless, this is boundless, this has no form, no shape, this is the ultimate truth. This is your original face. So what Rinzai has told, I am just saying the same thing to you. I am a lazy person. I will not come down from the podium. I will not shake you. I will not shock you. Don't give me this much trouble. You become little more understanding. Please don't search in the books, in the scriptures, in the religious teachings. You need not to go to religious leaders. Just go in. Second question.
I have heard from elders that life can become blissful by the blessings of a master, a Sadguru. I have come to surrender at your feet. Kindly bless me.
Your elders have given you misinformation. No master can do anything for you. You have to transform your life yourself. A master can guide. He can show the way, but you have to walk on the path. Nobody else can replace you. Nobody else can walk for you. When you ask for blessings, that simply proves you don't want to walk. You don't want to do any sadhana. You don't want to meditate. You just want to bow down to somebody's feet and he will give you blessing. You want a shortcut. There is no shortcut in the life. everyone is irreplaceable. If it was possible with the blessing of a Sadguru, do you think Buddha and Mahavira and Krishna were less compassionate? The whole humanity would have become enlightened. Buddha cannot do anything for you, neither Mahavira, nor Krishna, nor Lao Tzu. I am unable to do anything for you. I can only give you clarity of understanding, that's all. And that is possible only if you are ready to take. If you are already prejudiced, if you don't want to listen with open heart, even that understanding will not be possible. So I only request you to have a clear-cut understanding. Listen to this story of two soldiers who were in the war place, and one was just about to die. The person who was dying was a very good soldier. He had a very good record. He was a senior officer. He told to his friend that your records are very bad. All the bad remarks are there in your book. I am dying anyway. I can't survive more than few minutes. Why don't you change with my number? Let us exchange our number and name. You take my book, my number, my name, and I will take your plate, your name. I am going to die anyway. You have done so many sins. You have done so many crimes. There is very bad record of you. I will die with all those bad records, and you can have a very good image in the world again. Really, that friend was very, very compassionate. But the other soldier said, I am sorry, I will not do that, because I know I cannot deceive God. My life is my life. What I have done, I have done. You cannot replace me. I may deceive the other people in the world to the higher officers, but how can I deceive myself? And how will I deceive God? I have to take care of my own life. I have to pass through a transformation. Remember, creation is not something like pottery or painting or writing poetry or a novel or creating a sculpture. No. In a spiritual sense, creation is a process of self-transformation. It is not something you have to do on any particular object. You have to grow in your subjectivity. When your consciousness starts reaching higher and higher peaks, then you become a new human being. Not only a human being, you become a divine being. You become full of godliness. You find divinity within yourself. That is the only way. My blessings won't work. Surrendering to me is not going to function. You have to become capable of understanding the truth of life, and you have to be ready to transform yourself. Only then something is possible. Third question.
Is God really dead as declared by Friedrich Nietzsche? Then how can I console myself?
If you are in search of consolation, you have come to a wrong place. I am not going to give any consolation to you. In Hindi, there are two words, Santwana and Satya. Santwana means consolation and Satya means truth. Are you ready to face the truth? Only then I may help you. Otherwise, it is useless to come to me. I am not going to console you. I will not support your false ideas. Yes, God is not a reality. Godliness is a reality. But there is nobody like a God, a person, somebody sitting in the sky, the creator of the world, or the great governor, or the great controller, or police inspector watching who is doing what kind of sins, or a jailer who will put you in a hell if you go against him. There is nobody like this. There is godliness, but there is no personified God. But all the religions of the world are obsessed with this personified idea of God. It's good of Nietzsche. He declared the God is dead. In fact, it was never alive. It was a manufactured idea. Priests, pandits, scholars, rabbis, Maulvis, they have invented this idea of God. Then they become the agents on the earth. Then they can exploit the society. I would like you to hear Osho's words of wisdom on the same subject.
It is absolutely necessary that God should be dead. But I want you to know my understanding. It was good of Friedrich Nietzsche to declare God dead. I declare that he has never been born. It is a created fiction, invention, not a discovery. Do you understand the difference between invention and discovery? A discovery is about truth. An invention is manufactured by you. It is man-manufactured fiction. Certainly it has given consolation, but consolation is not the right thing. Consolation is opium. It keeps you unaware of the reality. And life is flowing past by you so quickly. 70 years will be gone soon. Anybody who gives you a belief system is your enemy. Because the belief system becomes the barrier for your eyes, you cannot see the truth. The very desire to find the truth disappears. But if all your belief systems are taken away from you, in the beginning certainly it is bitter. I know the fear, the anxiety that will surface immediately, which you have been suppressing for millennia. But it is there, very alive. No God can destroy it. Only the search for truth and the experience of truth, not a belief, is capable to heal all your wounds, to make you a whole being. And the whole person is the holy person to me.
So, my dear friends, I'd like to conclude in the end. Thanks God that there is no God. If there was a supreme ruler, somebody sitting in the sky and dictating the whole world, then human consciousness will have no grandeur. We are free. Thanks God.